Hello everyone and welcome to my sister-wise gossip. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Physical violence strikes Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann's home. Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann of the Real Housewives of Atlanta fame reportedly got caught up in family drama around the Thanksgiving holiday. Reportedly, authorities had to get involved at one point. However, there are different sides of the story coming out. The incident took place the day before Thanksgiving. Biermann is a former American football linebacker who played for the Atlanta Falcons. Zolciak was known for being one of the original cast members on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, with the series depicting her meeting Biermann during its third season. The two were also the subject of the spin-off series Don't Be Tardy, which lasted 8 seasons. However, Biermann filed for divorce from Zolciak in May and refiling back in August after a brief withdrawal. According to TMZ, the Milton Police Department were dispatched to the couple's Georgia home the day before this past Thanksgiving. Reportedly, they were there in response to a domestic violence call. According to the report, Zolciak alleged she and Biermann got into a heated argument while taking down curtains in the home, which is about to be put up for auction. Zolciak claims that Biermann physically threw her from a ladder, pushing her onto the ground. Different family members shared different sides of the story. Cops claimed that Zolciak herself claimed to have been injured in the altercation. However, they also claimed she refused to show evidence of injury to first responders on the scene. Allegedly, the incident took place in front of Zolciak's children. One of her daughters also spoke about what happened to authorities. However, cops claim that the daughter's story tells things differently. In her version, Biermann was the one initially taking down the curtains. This spurred Zolciak to go on top of a ladder to remove them herself. She then fell off, landing on Biermann. The girl claimed that Biermann spoke with her and told her to be honest. However, she denied being coached on what to say. A few other family members also shared their own sides of the story. Another kid also claimed to have entered the room during the argument, but didn't see the incident involving the ladder. For his part, according to the police report, Biermann claimed Zolciak attacked him, striking him in the face. However, Zolciak stuck by her side of the story. Officers at the scene were unable to determine who was the primary aggressor during the incident. At the time, no arrests were made concerning the case. Cops also noted that neither Zolciak nor Biermann were willing to leave the house. Once hailed as one of reality TV's most glamorous couples, Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kim Zolciak and former NFL player Kroy Biermann are now spiraling into a devastating storm of chaos, with their once lavish life reduced to bitter court battles, financial ruin, and now shocking allegations of physical violence within their volatile household. The situation, insiders say, is no longer just toxic, it's dangerous. From glamour to grit, Kim and Kroy's whirlwind romance began with sparkles and spotlights. Their 2011 wedding aired on television, their home was a castle of opulence, and their social media accounts overflowed with curated snapshots of a perfect family life. But behind the filtered photos and lavish parties, tension quietly simmered. When financial troubles hit, bankruptcy rumors, foreclosure notices, unpaid credit cards, it peeled back the gold-plated wallpaper to reveal a marriage cracking under pressure. They were fighting constantly. One source close to the couple revealed, money became a constant battle. Then came the accusations, the shouting, and now something far worse. A disturbing night at home. According to an anonymous source who claimed to be present during a recent altercation, the fight between Kim and Kroy didn't just involve raised voices. It became physically aggressive. They were both screaming in the hallway, doors slamming. Kim threw something, maybe a vase, and it shattered, the insider reported. Kroy tried to restrain her, and she slapped him across the face. Authorities were called after a neighbor reported loud banging and a woman yelling, "Get off me." When police arrived, both parties were reportedly shaken, but neither was immediately taken into custody. Kim looked disheveled like she'd been crying. Kroy was pacing, the neighbor said. The energy was scary. We're used to them fighting, but this felt different. Children caught in the crossfire. Dangerous. Perhaps the most heartbreaking element of this unraveling saga is the children, especially the 4 young ones Kim and Kroy share biologically, along with Kim's 2 daughters from previous relationships whom Kroy adopted. The kids were in the house. That's the worst part. The source shared. They were upstairs when it all went down. You could hear the little one crying. It's not just toxic for Kim and Kroy anymore, it's unsafe for the kids. CPS has reportedly been notified multiple times over the last few months by concerned friends and extended family members. One insider said Kim's oldest daughter, Brielle, is desperate to get her siblings into a more stable situation. She doesn't want to pick sides, the source revealed, but she's terrified that one day something will happen that can't be undone. The fallout, restraining orders and legal war. Following the alleged violent encounter, whispers suggest both Kim and Kroy are considering restraining orders against one another. Both have filed for divorce multiple times, only to withdraw, reconcile briefly, then file again, plunging the courts into a soap opera of motions, petitions, and emergency custody requests. Kim, sources say, claims she is the victim of emotional and now physical abuse. She's terrified of him, one insider insists, but at the same time, she doesn't want to give up the house or the lifestyle. Kroy, meanwhile, has painted Kim as unstable and volatile. He's previously accused her of gambling away their money, being intoxicated around the kids, and failing to live in reality. Now he's furious that she's painting him as the violent one, a friend close to Kroy disclosed. He says she instigated the whole thing, that he was trying to defend himself, not hurt her. Attorneys for both parties have declined to comment publicly, but it's widely expected that new court filings are imminent, including possible domestic violence claims and emergency custody modifications. Isolation, escalation, and the breaking point. As their public images dissolve, both Kim and Kroy appear increasingly isolated. Kim's social media remains curated but eerily out of touch with reality, promoting skincare lines and throwing out selfies while her life implodes. Kroy has withdrawn, rarely seen in public and reportedly cutting ties with former teammates and friends. Their support systems are gone, said a mutual acquaintance. They burned bridges. Now it's just them, 2 people stuck in a mansion that's crumbling both financially and emotionally. Experts say this is a classic case of a toxic codependency spiraling into violence. They're clinging to each other and simultaneously trying to destroy one another, said Dr. Ava Merrill, a family psychologist not associated with the case. When that happens, emotional abuse often becomes physical, and when kids are present, it becomes a crisis. What happens next? As of now, no charges have been filed from the latest domestic incident, but that could change. Law enforcement sources say that investigations are ongoing, and they are taking the situation seriously given the public nature of the couple and the presence of children in the home. Someone needs to step in before this escalates further, said a family member who spoke under condition of anonymity. They can't live together anymore. They need distance therapy and serious intervention. Friends of Kim have urged her to leave the shared home and seek counseling. She's scared but stuck, one friend said. She keeps saying, "Where would I go? How would I survive without him?" It's sad. The Kim we knew 10 years ago was fearless. This Kim, she's just broken. A final blow. Insiders speculate that the most recent violent episode could finally be the wake-up call both parties need to separate for good. Kim's inner circle is pushing for her to focus on rebuilding her life, while Kroy's camp is encouraging him to pursue full custody. Whatever love they once had has curdled into resentment and fear, said a longtime associate of the couple. It's no longer about reconciliation, it's about survival. Whether the couple faces criminal charges, court-mandated separation, or a brutal divorce, one thing is clear, the illusion is shattered. What began as a fairy tale now reads like a tragic cautionary tale, a warning that when fame fades and finances falter, even the most glamorous love stories can devolve into violence, silence, and despair.